And I return those salutations from Canada. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's a best of 3 here in the losers semifinals for the Rocketbeans Archon Mode Cup. In the top left corner of the map, we've got 2 players. The names up here are not correct. I'll fix this in a moment. It's going to be Targa and Lambo King.
In the bottom right says the Red Terran Archon. It's Liquid Bunny and Demuslim.
And again, we don't have a proper UI to show you guys exactly who's on what team. So I'm just trying to keep the names up to date here at the top. So it's a little bit easier at a glance. Target / Lambo, there you go. And that should be good. Hopefully this isn't too invasive like this, and you guys can see it all right. At any rate, the score will always be displayed down here, for those who don't know. Like, yoink, down here in the bottom. And I'm really glad that so many of you guys have stuck around. Quite frankly, when I saw the big influx of the Rocketbeans folks in chat, I thought they'd just come and very quickly go after saying hello. But we're still riding 5,600 people for this tournament. Thank you guys so much for joining us. But we are going to get to see a bit of cheese this game, as the Reaper is nearly done.
Yeah, a little bit of a cheese opener. They did do this before in their last TVZ. What did it lead into? It led into a tank drop that died to a Nidus worm. No, wait.
Yes.
It's a Banshee.
It was a Banshee, not a tank drop, but it led into the Nidus worm.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Got it. So if a Nidus worm happens again, they're probably going to be in trouble, but that is a little unlikely. Just, it depends on, I guess, the players more than anything else, and I don't know if they know what Targa and Lambo are like, but...
Ooh, nice grenade.
Possible.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just that was a pretty good grenade, was all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading all the spoilers in our chat.
Oh, all the spoilers.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Ooh, I didn't know that one. Is that from the books?
It's from the movies, actually. I don't think it's in the books.
Gold Compass movies?
Yes.
Okay, so Reapers, obviously, normally you would only be able to do this with 3 Reapers and no less. 2 Reapers almost killing a Queen, plus killing all those Slings. That's the advantage that 10 little extra damage can go a long way to provide. The other thing that's kind of cool is Reapers, if you guys didn't notice, like that knockback, units are literally stuck in the air. They cannot do anything. They're basically crowd controlled while midair. And it's only like a second or 2 at a time, but as we can see, if you do the bombs correctly, you can actually keep a Queen off of creep with 4 Reapers very easily. Zombie Gub does this all the time, which will give me the 4 Reapers and 5 Reapers, and I'll have a hell of a time sniping off tumors. Queen comes to the edge of the creep to spread. I'm like, perfect target. Boom. You're off the creep. You're dead.
Yeah. So basically, I don't do anything. I just give them the tools.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Archon mode.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up earlier about how sometimes playing Zerg in Archon mode could be perceived as a little more difficult, and I would kind of agree with that. A big problem why I often, like, for me, example, go the newbie route of F2ing when I'm playing with people is you can't really micro the eggs. They can't build the same way. It's just overall generally frustrating.
Yeah, for those you don't know, a lot of people... Oh, this is kind of a cool little move here. I like this. A lot of people rally eggs. So they'll hotkey their eggs into the army that they're supposed to. So the muta eggs go into your muta hot control group. And then you rally with it, right? This is such a cool move, especially with Tina too. No wonder why they were going to follow this one up. It's going to be a headache to deal with. Because like usually 4 Queens does with a tank drop, no problem, but with the Reapers included and them blowing them back away from the medevac,
it's like just a little bit too much. Blows them back away from the medevac, blows them into the range of the medevac. I mean, Gen's fuses are up here in a second, but still Queens are getting slaughtered.
Slaughtered.
It's not a slaughter, it's a slaughter.
I thought you were gonna say something else to do with their mouths, you know?
It's a shitload laughter.
Oh, what? No. Anyways. This is going to continue on until the mutas are out. I mean, even the Lings, they're doing a nice enough job against it, but it's so much of an indication. Like, more and more Lings are on the way out. It's micro player versus micro player.
He's done this instead of going for second tank, so I can kind of justify the gas spin here on the Reapers, but at the same time, unless this does a little bit more, he's really traded out not well for what is potentially coming. To lose all the mutas plus the Reapers, or sorry, to lose the siege tank, the medevac, and the Reapers, that'd be devastating. In fact, almost goes down to the queens, no less.
My God. Okay, now it's time to leave. It's time to leave now. Yeah.
I don't know. He's gonna kill these queens.
Okay, so he finally gets everything that he wanted to begin with.
Oh, jeez.
He's like, all three queens go down all of a sudden. Like, damn.
None in production, by the way. I just want to point that out there. None in production just yet. One just starting up. This is pretty rough. New queen gonna go down once again. Tank, not exactly brought up to the high ground, but probably could be.
Very dangerous. There are those lings that are gonna help out, but because he spent so much just on, you know, the lings, plus having to go back into gases, which he's missed more than a couple of times, the macro player, or the micro player, I don't know who's going to do that, but he does not have a lot of money.
You would make me You would make me macro a geyser? Like what?
Micro a geyser?
I don't know, you're like, which was the macro player? Maybe they don't have any money.
Well, I mean, it's possible. They're the ones that are like, I don't know. What if he just noticed first, Rifkin, huh?
Fair point, fair point.
Yeah.
Still twice the resources lost. A little bit of a Orphan Annie, like just ragtag crew of units, really sitting at home. If he fights next to a Thor, like if I don't know if Thor can cover it, but Thor plus a missile turret absolutely can.
It's only 5 meters.
There we go.
2 meters is a long time to kill a Thor. It's only 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it took a long time to kill the mutants too.
Yes, that's true. That's where recipes brought in. But it's just, the point is that's no problem. I mean, even if all of those queens didn't die, I think it did enough mental damage, you know, really tricked up the build and whatnot, that it would have been worth it anyways. Because I feel like Teal Archon, the Zerg Archon, their macro player was obviously doing a decent enough job macroing, like that's his job, but it was the Red Archon that had the safety of being Terran and getting both command centers in the main base. They're the ones that decided to, like, you know, hole up for just a couple of seconds, and they're the ones that would be fine. I mean, really, their economy is booming, where Teal's Archon is only just starting.
The third base floating over now, too. I mean, I guess, economically speaking, this is looking pretty good, but looks like, once again, they will be going for the, not just targeting optics, but the air attack on those cyclones. We didn't really get to see a display of it before, and we talked about it, we talked the hell out of it. But Hellions and Banshees, Hellions and Cyclones mixed in with Banshees are some of the scariest things a Zerg player could ever deal with in StarCraft 2.
Yep. We're finally going to see it again. We're going to see the very, very overpowered Cyclone Hellion mixture.
I'm actually kind of excited for this. I want to see this work, because at the same time, let's assume for a second it doesn't work. Let's say Teal Archon finds a way to shut that down. Congratulations, you're the first player to figure out how to do that out of every tournament, of every event we've cast so far.
Yeah, the only time we've ever seen Demuslim in trouble when doing this build is, you know, they attacked right before he had 15 Cyclones, you know, and suddenly only had like 12. And then that was a problem. But if he gets up to a certain count, I don't really think he can do anything against it. It's just that good.
Why is 12 afraid of 14?
Because I don't know.
There's no good joke for this. I was just seeing if you guess.
I was going to say like the Baker's dozen, but I was like, that's not 14, that's 13, so I don't know.
Why is that a bit? Because you just like sneak in the extra, like you're the cook?
I don't know. My initial guess would be something like you can never correctly predict like exactly how much you're going to come out. So it's like a 13th one on accident. I
always forget, Nathaniel's pointing this out, the targeting optic, or not targeting optics, I mean Terran with Cyclone air upgrades have a different, like if you click on the actual factory, a different icon on it.
Yeah, they do.
It's all red
it's pretty
and cool
boss
now.
Looking one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're targeting
so
optical too. Like lock on is no longer green; it's just straight up red. Full stop. Weirdly enough, once this does finish up, if he moves forward, he could actually pick off all those Mutalisks, and I'd say fairly easily, no less. There's 4 Cyclones after all. 3 seconds for finishing. Now lock on has got some of the stupidest AI though. Like this could be God mode. This could also be like real pain in the ass mode. Either way, it looks like he will clip a couple of mutas. Tries to split him, but good luck with that.
This is when you just start to giggle because nothing else you can do except go insane as you realize something's gonna work out. The only thing that Cyclones are bad against are links. Like they can't take them out that fast and they'll get surrounded, but that's where the Hellions come into.
I would argue that strategy we ran into in the Nathanius was pretty good. They had a huge line of lurkers and spore crawlers together, and while the Cyclones were picking off the spore crawlers, neither myself nor Nathanius could get near the lurkers, because by the time you lock on, you're dead on the way out.
Well, that's what we kept calling for when we first saw this to begin with, so that is true. When we first saw this, we were like, lurkers might be the only answer here, and no one wanted to go for them.
Well,
so...
I bring this up for context of the fact that there's so many other ways to play this around. If you find your Cyclones aren't working, or if, as a Zerg player even, you can't get them to stop. Blinding Clouds don't affect them, but an Abduct does. Go a long way into grabbing them into your army.
I also feel like it really depends on how the rest of the game worked out. Ooh. That game that we played was very passive and macro-oriented. There was like no trades by the time we were ready to attack. So to even get to lurkers takes a lot of time. To get to a point where you have so much stack defense, because they really did, that your Cyclones can't go anywhere else, you can't avoid the lurkers, that's hard to get to.
So Blue Flame works really well clearing out the Lings. The Ling's the one weakness you have the Cyclone, because they can't lock on. You don't want to lock on a Ling, you want to lock onto a Roach or a Hydralisk or something beefy, something meaty, something worth locking onto. But neither player really near max. 4CC is established. Planetary is going to come in out of this bad boy.
5th is on the way to the bottom left as well. Teal Archon might not scout that for a while.
Well, they don't need to see the bottom left. They've seen everywhere else, though.
Teal Archon?
Or, sorry, Red Archon, I mean. No, wait. Who are you talking about?
Zerg might not scout this for a while.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about Red Archon. I was like, yeah, they saw the base in the top right already. My mistake. Pardon me.
Ultralisk are also not the answer.
Yeah, I mean, if you got those crazy upgrades, maybe.
If you attack soon enough.
Well, he's also only got level 1 armor upgrades, right? Level 2 finishes here in a second, but even then, look at his plating. That's still enough armor that the Marines can do some damage instead of becoming completely worthless like they tend to.
Yeah, the problem with it's just that it's past the point of hitting them before they have the good army, where you just simply overwhelm them with numbers, and that's how you win versus this composition. It's kind of past that point. So the Ultras are just gonna be meat shields for sure, but meat shields to what end? Like as long as they have room to micro, they're gonna win.
And they can still be kited by the Cyclones too, which is a pretty big deal. Again, this is where things like Abducts start coming to effect really heavily. Blinding Cloud will affect almost nothing here. Hellbats gotta go for the melee attack anyways, and the Cyclones aren't gonna want to fight at face value. Just simply go for the lock-ons where possible.
Yeah, the best option you have against this is either to try the lurker thing, which everyone ever seems to want to, or to just literally run them down so much they get into a corner. They literally back into a corner. Then you might kill the Cyclones before they kill your army. That is just, it's very difficult to do. They are perfect kiting machines. They're on par with Hellions.
There we go. I am a little bit curious. I wonder, do you think he was hunting a fly in the middle of the map? Or I didn't see any units over there.
He's hunting overlords.
Yeah, alright. Hellbats are going to transform. God, that's a lot of Hellbats. Like you want to call them like grown-up Hellions, right? Like,
grown-up adult Hellions.
I feel like we could make stupid names for units pretty easily if we tried. We can start naming the Carbot units.
No, Ricky, you're not supposed to name the babies. You're supposed to say what they are.
Oh, shut up. I goofed up. I get it. Stupid wedding. Stupid, ridiculously tough wedding quiz that made no sense. Should have explained better. They didn't even give me a good pen, man. I had to ask for like a different pen.
It was their fault. Oh, you funny. Well, both players are maxed out. They got decent enough upgrades. Mac has +3 weapons. That's good enough.
Yeah. You're not really too worried about armor in this sort of situation. Fungal Growth. Gonna hit most of the army. Yeah, that was really good. Cyclones and Hellbats segment off to the right to chase them down. Meanwhile, the main fight goes down here in the middle of the map. Hydralisks are doing a ton of damage, but it's not enough to withstand the onslaught here of the Cyclones. And weirdly enough, they chose to fight at face value with the Cyclones. Very minimal to little kiting going on whatsoever. And I think if they had even just done that little bit of kiting, even just everything would go down.
There was a counterattack that is being dealt with back at home with just more Cyclones. It killed a couple SCVs, but he's already on like 6 orbital commands. Not a problem. That army that took on that army wasn't even the entire Cyclone army. Oh dear God.
Well, it's that, like, you only really lost a couple of gas mining workers. You really don't need minerals as badly this late in the game.
Yeah, I still 61 more CVs. Like, what's the big deal? Let's make it 7 SCVs at a time. Okay, just calm down a little. You don't need that many.
SCVs, please.
Yeah, cyclones are good.
Well, he's trying to go for a bit of a hit squad here. He's been cleaning up a lot of the creep while this goes on. I'm not going to send them all in at once because he is probably a little bit worried still about the infestors. He knows there's fungal growths, and the greatest strength to a cyclone isn't its tank ability. It's the fact that it can kite all darn day. Janus is going to hit his queens.
Oh, there we go. This is the perfect opportunity for cyclones. They have all the room in the world to micro.
Yeah, I mean, this engagement area is just fantastic. You can't run away from them. You can't run towards them. It's worth noting, cyclones do get a small damage boost in their abilities as this goes up over time. So 720 damage over the 11 seconds instead of like 600. But as the attack continues and the attack commences here, the ultras are starting to die out. Not a whole lot left, but swooping in from the left side here with Hellions, Hellbats, even the landed Viking. Oh god. I think Damaga is ready to push this bad boy. The ultra's still giving chase, but they're slowly being chipped away. Oh gosh.
That's the worst thing about this too, is that you think, well, maybe if they're fast and they can kite and they have good damage in the air and ground, maybe they're slow to make.
No.
They aren't. Not anything more than anything else.
Let me tell you how lava works, good woman.
What?
Lava. Well,
talk about the cyclones. What about the larva?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna start going off how he's not gonna have any left, but.
Oh, okay. The point is, Cyclone, do you think you got rid of him? More come up anyways.
GG.
You think you're gonna have a good composition? You don't.
Red Archon is gonna take game number 1. Again, it's the semifinals. It's the losers bracket. Sadly, this will determine one of the